Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah, the founder and editor-in-chief of The Gaming Gang. So welcome to the Duct Tape Studios once again. Tonight is October 22nd. It is a Thursday. This is episode 560 of The Daily Dope. So, if this is your first time joining me, do want to point out this is very, very casual, just hang out, mainly talking about tabletop gaming news. So, board games, card games, role-playing games, miniatures games. On occasion, like tonight, we will talk about some PC gaming as well. And of course, every once in a while, pop culture kind of pops its head in. But for the most part, it's all tabletop gaming news. Of course, do want to remind you, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, ring that notification bell, because it will not only let you know when the Daily Dope streams live Monday through Thursday nights, right here on YouTube, it will also inform you when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review of Gates of Delirium from Renegade Game Studio. All right. Anyway, I also do want to point out that since this is a live stream, chat is available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do pay attention to chat as best I can. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question or comment, by all means, please chime in. I will do my best to respond. Should point out, I know tonight is the big presidential debate. It's starting right now, so I will not be surprised if we don't have very many people hanging out in chat tonight. Although when we had the dueling town hall meetings, I was kind of surprised we had quite a few people hanging out. So first thing I am going to do, though, is I am going to quickly double check just to make sure that the stream is streaming live at the moment. So, all right, just pop into there. I know I've got the camera kind of blocking my view here, so I do want to double check. All right. So, okay, so we're cool. So we are streaming, so we're good as far as that goes. All right, good deal. Just wanted to double check on that. Oh, there we go. Flaming Heron's popped in to say howdy. Sportsman Z has joined me in chat as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Flaming Heron actually helped me out earlier today because, as I pointed out on the last, 2 shows, Drive-Thru RPG and the other One Bookshelf sites are having their annual Halloween sale, which, in my opinion, is usually their second best sale of the year. Their best sale tends to be their Christmas in July. That has bigger savings. But one of the cool things during the Halloween sale is they have a scavenger hunt with all these free goodies, about 10 per site. And every year I put together a post and I share with you where you can find these hidden goodies, right? So Flaming Heron did catch a couple of items that I had mixed up. But to be honest, when I was actually in there doing it, I think the One Bookshelf sites were actually finalizing what was going into these links anyway, because when I first saw, because I got to be honest, I thought maybe One Bookshelf wasn't going to have the Halloween trick or treat scavenger hunt, or maybe not even have a Halloween sale, because we're getting pretty close to Halloween. And I think last year, I think they rolled it out on something like October 12th. But anyway, so it popped up. They were sharing that info, and it was kind of funny. So I started going to the different links that I know every year, year in, year out. They put one of the little icons there for you to click on to get the freebie. And some of the stuff was coming back as not having anything. So I was like, okay, they're in the middle of working on this right now. So thankfully, Flaming Heron did point out a couple of items. So I have fixed those. Those were over on drivethrugcomics.com. I had incorrect info. I had the correct area for you to go. I just had the incorrect info of what you got. All right, so Kabuki Kid has joined us in chat as well. So Flaming Heron says, well, they were a little late. And it was like, no one's in chat? I know. So I thought it was a little weird. But every once in a while, YouTube decides they're going to change my stream key on me, and I start streaming a show, and nobody's watching. Because it's not streaming. All right, I got a lot of news tonight. So let's jump on in, because following a successful Kickstarter, Arvis Games is bringing Board Royale, The Island, into stores. Here's the dope. The ultimate survival experience. You and your friends stranded on a deserted island, and the last one standing wins the game. Resource management is the key for survival, apart from the attack and defense abilities, diplomacy and trade skills, and backstabbing in a blink of an eye. It's kind of like, oh yeah, so resource management is key, except for all these other things. The game can be won in two different ways, either by eliminating every other player by depleting their resource cards, or by crafting 10 points worth of survival items to escape and win the game instantly. You gather resources in the beginning of your turn and use them to craft items that you can use to attack your friends, defend yourself, gather more resources, or escape the island. And this island being a great shooter is not sufficient. I think that would be on this island, wouldn't you? I do want to point out, I believe this game company is not out of the US. So this sell sheet info may be translated. Anyway, on this island, being a great shooter is not sufficient. You need to make deals, trade with each other, build short-term alliances, and betray your best friends before they do. And when you finish this, you can go sit down and play a nice game of diplomacy. Just keep the backstabbing rolling along. Convincing others to attack anybody but you is a key factor for survival. Board Royale is extremely easy to learn. The main mechanics can be learned in seconds and can be played with anybody instantly. Board Royale is designed to have high replayability thanks to the high diversity in the items, abilities, and major impact of player personalities, playing types, and social skills, of which I have no social skills whatsoever. Board Royale has already 4 different expansion packs that each add a completely different theme and depth that experienced board gamers seek. Board Royale is made for competitive players and is definitely not a peaceful game. Board Royale is for 2 to 6 players, ages 13 and up, plays in around 30 to 60 minutes. And as far as my MSRP information goes, I have run across that it is $28. So I got to be honest, I don't know if that MSRP is correct, because the box I've seen looks fairly large. So I don't know. It is possible. So I do want to mention that Arvis Games is actually going to be sending me a copy of Board Royale, The Island, as well as I believe some of these expansions as well to check out. So could be cool, could be kind of fun. I can tell that it looks like this does not have, or I guess I should say it does have its tongue firmly planted in cheek for this game. So I highly doubt people will get too upset when they have the dog pile. So a game like this, I'll tell you what, whenever I play a game like this, everybody teams up to take me out first. Always. That is usually what happens. Don't know. So we will get a closer look at this in the near future. All right, moving right along. Coming from Z-Man Games is Paleo. Here's the dope. Paleo is a cooperative adventure game set in the Stone Age, a game in which players try to keep the human beings in their care alive while completing missions. Sometimes you need a fur, sometimes a tent, but these are all minor quests compared to your long-term goal. Painting a woolly mammoth on the wall so that humans thousands of years later will know that you once existed. Okay, you just think the mammoth painting looks cool. Preserving a record of your past existence is gravy. What might keep you from painting that mammoth? Death in all its many forms. Each player starts the game with a couple of humans who each have a skill and a number of life points. On a turn, each player chooses to go to one location, possibly of the same type as other players, although not the same location. And while you can have some idea of what you might find there, you won't know for sure until you arrive, at which point you might acquire food or resources, or find what you need to craft a useful item, or discover that you can aid someone else in their project, or suffer a snake bite that brings you close to death. Life is full of both wonders and terrors. At the day's end, you'll need food for all the people in your party, as well as various crafts or skills that allow you to complete quests. Failure to do so adds another skull on the tote board, and once you collect enough of those, you decide that living is for fools and give up the ghost, declaring that future humans can just admire someone else for all you care. Paleo includes multiple modules that allow for a variety of people, locations, quests, and much more during your time in 10,000 BCE. Sweet. What another game that doesn't really it doesn't seem to be taking itself too seriously, or at least it's being presented as not taking itself too seriously. Although the artwork doesn't look especially cartoonish. Sure, I don't know. So Melwinius from York has arrived, as well as a Gray Day is in chat. Good to see everybody popping in. They decided to take a pass on the train wreck that's happening, no doubt, simultaneously. Here's something, though. Nobody's going to be muting my mic. Well, then again, I guess you could turn the volume down on the video. I guess you'd be muting my mic then. So this does look interesting. And yes, Z-Man Games, they are the pandemic guys, as Melwinius was asking. So Grade A mentions that Z-Man is reprinting Carcassonne Hunters and Gatherers. Yeah, I ran across that as well. And Agrede says that's their favorite game in the series. I'm a big fan of just traditional Carcassonne. Yeah, once again, it's like a little cat hair hanging on the end of my nose. So it's like, so yes, I like. I have the big box, which I got to be honest, really is a big box of air. But I mean, I bought that, gosh, 11 years ago, something like that. So. All right, it's Thursday, so that means we're talking some PC games because we've got some free PC gaming from the fine folks over at the Epic Game Store. Here's the dope, because first off, we've got Costume Quest 2 from Double Fine and Majesco Entertainment. Explore spooky time traversing landscapes. don adorable new costumes that transform into powerful Hello Warriors, and collect even creepier treat cards to wield in combat against a legion of hygiene-obsessed baddies. Sequel to the Halloween adventure from Double Fine, it is a game where you'll explore spooky time-traversing landscapes and actually be tackling some dentists and other people who are overly concerned with your hygiene. So there is a quick launch video. This game came out quite a while ago. I think it's about maybe 6, 7 years ago, maybe 6. So let's take a quick peek at Costume. What the hell is it called again? Costume Quest 2. Duh. I've played this too. It's like, how could I not remember the name of the game? All right, let's check out the quick trailer. Oh yeah, Costume Quest 2 is available now, all right. It has been out for a while. In fact, Double Fine isn't even a company anymore. That was Tim Schafer's game company. And Tim had done all of those great LucasArts games. Well, not all of them, but he was involved with a lot of them. So, Melwinius points out that Costume Quest 1 is great for playing with the kids. So is this. There's really no, this isn't sort of like a rated T for teen or anything like that. I will point out that from my experience, and it's been a while since I played both, the game does get kind of repetitive. So, but it is pretty fun. It is a fun game, and it's got some cute humor to it as well. And it's got some kind of funny nods to sort of like the Japanese role-playing games, stuff like that. All right. But remember, I mentioned we've got 2 freebies because we also have Layers of Fear 2. I don't know what it is this week. Everything is 2. This is from Bloober Team SA and Gun Media. Layers of Fear 2 is a first-person psychological horror game with an emphasis on exploration and story. Players control a Hollywood actor who heeds the call of an enigmatic director to take on the lead role in a film shot aboard an ocean liner. It just happens to be named the Titanic. No, I threw that last part in. The cameras are all focused on you. Yes, I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. The center of the scene. Not just in character, you are the character. The part to play is singularly yours, written just for you. You are met with silence, no barking orders from the director, no call to action that you need to become this version of yourself. The demand to act fills your mind, but the script pages hold no words. Your past has helped to mold you into what you are, forced upon you the skills required to hone your craft. That same past is scraped deep furrowing scars into you, not on the outside, where the world can see, but in a place buried so deep within that it has become shapeless. You push those memories down, but let the experiences drive you into who or what you must play. Darkness surrounds as you stand silently in the spotlight. The only sounds to be heard over your heartbeat are the distant breaking of waves against the hull and the sound of cameras pointed in your direction, preserving this moment for eternity. A deep and commanding voice rises from the distance. Act. What part will you play? There is a quick launch trailer. It's only a little more than a minute. So this will give you an idea of, at least graphically, what does Layers of Fear 2 look like.
You'll play your part. This place, the life that was to be, you cannot have it. You can never have it. It will never be yours. Time marches on. Time waits for no one. Actor, do not waste hours. Act.
Scatty, kids, scatty. All right, so there are two freebies. Both are sequels. I think Layers of Fear 2 came out pretty recently. I think this is a fairly new game, maybe within the last year or so. So a Grade A mentions Call of Cthulhu is on sale at Steam for $8. That was not very well received, if I remember correctly. I never played it. And I was looking forward to it, and then the reviews were all coming back going, meh. Jorge Rodriguez has joined us in chat. Good to see you, Jorge. So, normally this is the only PC game item that I share on a weekly basis. So Grade A says Call of Cthulhu got good reviews. Really? Because I seem to recall it didn't. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game. I thought the reviews were fairly lukewarm. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Anywho, 75% positive. I don't know. To me, that's not great. But that's okay. Anyway, I've got another video game news piece. Yes, I know. Amazing. 2 video game news pieces today. But you'll see why. Because coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One next year from Asmodee Digital is Arkham Horror Mother's Embrace. Here's the dope. Previously announced under the title Mansions of Madness Mother's Embrace, the upcoming Arkham Horror Mother's Embrace is a squad-based narrative adventure game offering a mix of exploration, investigation, and tactical RPG combat phases set in the Lovecraftian universe. Asmodee Digital, a leader in video game entertainment inspired by board games, announced Arkham Horror Mother's Embrace, a digital game based on the award-winning board game franchise. It is coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, and Nintendo Switch 2 in 2021. It's going to carry an MSRP of $19.99. The year is 1926, and a professor of astronomy is found dead in her mansion, the apparent victim of a heinous murder. Players must pick from 12 of the most iconic protagonists from the Arkham Horror universe, each with a unique skill set, and assemble a team of investigators to uncover the secrets behind this mysterious death. As investigators face off against Lovecraftian horrors, they will descend deeper into the depths of madness, affecting their level of sanity and causing traumas that will impact the course of their investigation. Along with facing curious science, living nightmares, and a sinister cult, players will combat an array of enemies in turn-based combat, all while attempting to retain their sanity. Developed by Artifact Studio and featuring an original story, Arkham Horror Mother's Embrace plunges players into the engrossing pulp world of 1920s America to combat unseen supernatural and psychological horrors true to the Lovecraftian spirit. Once again, as I mentioned, Arkham Horror Mother's Embrace is going to arrive sometime next year. That's all we know. There is no specifics as far as a release date. It is coming next year. Another item that I will toss out here, but I found out about this like right before I went live. We were talking about the Darkest Dungeon board game Kickstarter yesterday. Well, it turns out that there's also the Darkest Dungeon 2 is going to be coming to early access next year as well. There is a trailer out for it. Looked kind of cool. I got to be honest, I like Darkest Dungeon. I got a kick out of it. It is not easy. I like hard games. A lot of times I don't finish those hard games, but still, you know. So I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that was kind of interesting. So we're getting a board game based on Darkest Night, and we're getting a Darkest Night 2. All right. So some comments about the previous news piece here. Oh, so I think they're still talking about Call of Cthulhu. Yeah, for $8. I mean, you can't go wrong for $8, even if it's just meh. So this could be kind of cool. Although the funny thing is, they're calling it Arkham Horror, but it seems like it's more a tactical combat game at its heart, which Arkham Horror really isn't. I don't know. Kind of curious. So let's move on into some role-playing game news, because yesterday I talked about the first of 2 Shadow of the Demon Lord bundles of holding that are currently running. Today, here's the dope on the Demon Lord Legacies bundle. Careful, hero. This Demon Lord Victims bundle of dark fantasy supplements for the Shadow of the Demon Lord tabletop role-playing game is a companion to our resurrected Shadow of the Demon Lord bundle. If you haven't already purchased that offer, either in its original May 2017 run or its previous revival, start there. Then return here for this all-new offer of dozens more supplements and source books from Schwalb Entertainment that open new paths into the lands of shadow. For just $9.95, you get all 26 titles in this offer's starter collection that have a retail value of $52 as PDFs. 5 Legacies of Shadow that reveal forgotten terrors back to wreak havoc in the land of Rule. Black Sun Dawn, Curse of the Spiderwood, and the Emperor's Secret Service. Men of Gog and Scions of the Betrayer. 4 Paths of Shadow character supplements for Warrior, Priest, Magician, and Rogue. Bred for Battle, Called to Serve, in Pursuit of Power, and Natural Born Scoundrels. There's also no less than 17 Poison pages, rules expansions that let you play gnomes, werewolves, centaurs, and fungus people, and teach you new ways to get corrupted or go insane. If you pay more than this offer's threshold price of $19.95, you'll level up and also get this offer's entire bonus collection with 23 more titles worth an additional $50.50, including the 200-page spellbook, Occult Philosophy, the complete campaign, Queen of Gold, Tales of the Pirate Isles, and nearly 24 monstrous pages, a bestiary series with titles like Wretched and Unclean, Foul as Reptiles, Noisome Beasts, and Horrific Parasites. Yum. Remember, if you don't already have the Shadow of the Demon Lord bundle, that's now in progress or picked it up back in 2017, start there, come back to this. You can score these savings through November 9th. 10% of your payment after payment gateway fees for this offer will be donated to the charity designated by Demon Lord designer Robert J. Schwalb, the Wildlife Conservation Society. Nice. Nice. Pretty cool. We talked a little bit about Shadow of the Demon Lord last night. Didn't seem like any of us really had any experience with it, but had heard some really good things about the game. I would say, especially if you're into like grimdark, you would definitely like that. So, there's some discussion about FFG might be announcing a new Descent game. That's kind of cool. So Melwinius asks, is Shadow of the Demon Lord out of print? Waiting for the core rulebook like 3 months and not one piece showed up. I don't know. I have no idea. I honestly don't know. Cameron F. has joined us in chat. Good to see you, Cameron. Thanks for swinging by to hang out. All right. So my final news piece. I told you I had a lot of news today. Chaosium Inc. has revealed there's going to be a 6th edition of Greg Stafford's famed Pendragon role-playing game. There's actually a free quick start that's now available in PDF. Here's the dope on The Adventure of the Great Hunt. This week, Chaosium marks the 2nd anniversary of the passing of Greg Stafford, the company founder and its original creative visionary. With the hashtag #WeAreAllUs, we commemorate Greg as one of the greatest game designers of all time, winner of too many awards to count, and a friend, mentor, guide, and inspiration to generations of gamers. While Greg Stafford's influence on the universe of tabletop gaming is beyond measure, he considered the King Arthur Pendragon RPG his masterpiece. And this year for We Are All Us, we salute Greg's magnum opus with a free sneak peek of the 6th edition core rules and an accompanying scenario, The Adventure of the Great Hunt. Originally outlined by Greg way back in 1991 and presented here in print for the first time. Greg started work on the new edition 10 years ago. Since that time, it's gone through multiple development phases and is at last nearly ready for its public debut. He called this and always intended it to be his ultimate edition, and we are proud to see it finally coming to fruition. Pendragon veterans will find that the fundamentals of the game remain the same, with subtle modifications reflecting the culmination of nearly 3 decades refinement of Greg's vision of Arthurian fantasy, said Pendragon line editor David Larkins. For newcomers to Pendragon, everything you need to experience the Pendragon system is here in The Adventure of the Great Hunt. The core rules, a scenario playable in a single session, and 6 pre-generated characters. This 26-page PDF is available right now, absolutely free, over at the Chaosium website. Nice, very cool. I like Pendragon. I am a fan of Pendragon. Yes, some people are like, rest in peace, Greg Stafford. Yeah, it's been a couple of years already. Wow. Man, that is wild. Time just flies. What can I tell you? Anyway, I always enjoyed Pendragon. I think Pendragon really helps players role play. It really does. I know there are people out there who do not like the fact that your character is broken into all these various different things, and you like for, like what, let's say honesty and dishonesty, and you kind of fall into a range of 1 to 20 between those. And I know some people don't dig that you've got all these different kind of, I don't want to say attributes, because it's really not that. It's more morals and things like that. But yeah, kind of cool. I always thought it was pretty cool. And another aspect of it that I always thought was pretty interesting is Pendragon lends itself very well to one-shot adventures, It also lends itself very well to generations. Don't see that too often. I know Legacy is one of those games that kind of promotes it's a whole. You're not just playing a character, but you're kind of eventually playing an entire family, a line. So pretty cool. So Kabuki Kid says unrelated, but rip to the amazing Randy. I gotta be honest, I did not know he passed away. Like, he very interesting character, the amazing Randy. Did some illegal things too. It was kind of like, okay, all right. I saw a documentary about him a few years ago. And like I said, very interesting cat. Very interesting cat. I do actually appreciate the fact of how much of his time in life was devoted to exposing phonies and fakes, especially fake mediums. That is people who prey upon other people's grief to make their nut. I'm not real keen on them. All right, so that is it for tonight's show. Pretty quick, kind of zipped through pretty fast. So Melwinius asks, was there a non-Chaosium release of Pendragon? I believe so, because at one point, Greg Stafford had, what was it, Moon Design? Something like that. In fact, they're really the folks who came in and bailed Chaosium out when Chaosium was in big trouble. But so Great A says, too bad the amazing Randy died before Uri Geller. I'm going to bend the spoon. Well, Uri Geller, all right. So he's a con artist, but he wasn't somebody who like preyed on other people and be like, oh yes, oh, I see your Uncle Bob. So yeah, I do believe that there is, just like there were non-Chaosium editions of RuneQuest, there's actually few. There's an Avalon Hill one from way back in the day. I think that was 3rd edition. I think that's 3rd edition RuneQuest. So Malwinia says, I think Charlemagne was released as an expansion. Yes, to Pendragon. There's another one. I think I gotta be honest, I do think that it's a core book itself. It just utilizes the Pendragon rules, but it's Paladin, which is, I believe, the Crusades, if I remember correctly. All right. So Melanie says, never mind, it was also Chaosium release. The Charlemagne, yeah, that's Chaosium, right. So Flaming Heron says, sounded like you were channeling Jimmy Stewart there. No, I don't do too much. The funny thing is, I did way back in the day. Cameron's got to run. Good to see you, Cameron. A Great A says they tried Sword and Sorcery instead of Pendragon. I was going to say, one time I did like a perfect George Takei impersonation when we were doing the podcast, and I was in Arizona. Elliot was in the Chicago area, and we were getting ready to record that week's episode. And he was dying. He was laughing. I could tell he had tears in his eyes. And I have never been able to do that impersonation since. I don't know what it was. Maybe I had a couple of cocktails in me. Maybe that was what it was. Flaming Heron asks, any edition of Pendragon which is the best, or is it just... I would say the last one, the 5th edition. Once again, they have a 6th edition on the horizon. But the Great Pendragon Campaign is an excellent release as well, because it essentially goes through the entire legend of Arthur, starting with King Uther. Sweet. All right. That is it for tonight's show. I am going to wrap up a little earlier. For some strange reason, I have some inflammation right in my jaw here, and it is bugging me. For some strange reason, I think, as weird as this sounds, I started taking some multivitamins, and I think they're having a bad mix with some of the medication I take. So that is a possibility. All right. Anyway, so those of you out there who are watching live, thank you very much. I always appreciate you taking some time out to hang out and keep me company. Of course, if you like this video, by all means, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't, and ring that notification bell if you do subscribe, because it'll not only let you know when the Daily Dope streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, I'll also tell you when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review of Wasson from Free League Publishing. Good stuff, too. Love the artwork in this. Of course, I know a lot of people out there don't have an opportunity to watch live. So even if you're watching on Memorex, I appreciate you watching as well. I know somebody had just asked, I think it might have been Double K, asking if I am going to watch the debate. And I might watch it after the fact. To be honest, what I'm looking forward to watching tonight, I know it'll be late, but I am looking forward to watching the new Borat movie. Yeah, I know. It's going to be crazy. All right. Anyway, everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday night / Friday morning. Of course, I will be back next week. And as I've been wrapping up my videos during this never-ending pandemic, it's like the never-ending story, but not in a good way. Here's hoping all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Catch you next week. Oh, you're still here. Well, once again, thank you very much for watching this video. And of course, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, click right here. And of course, if you want to see one of the latest episodes of the Daily Dope, click right on up here. And if you want to roll the dice, take your chances, see what YouTube thinks you might like from the channel, give a click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and I'll see you next time.